I'm Aslan Gülçiçek. I'm the CEO of Gülçiçek Fragrance Company, based out of Istanbul, Turkey. We are the largest compounders in the area, not only in Turkey but all around the region. And the reason why we're joining to this conference is to see and to have an idea of the prospects of what's going to happen in the future relating to our business in general. And so far it's been a very interesting speeches. There has been incredible inventions going forward. Enjoying the whole experience here in Berlin.
Oh, okay. My name is Erkki Huominen and I'm coming from Finland. So I'm running a private company and we are looking for applications. How can we serve people better the knowledge and daily applications on olfaction. So I'm working with senior people at nursing homes, and we just finished a 10 weeks course and they like it a lot, and now I'm thinking about how to do further progress, as well as what we are looking for safety items and employees at any chemical factories. So it's very important to people themselves to recognize and know how their sense of smell is working, and also office people visiting sometimes hall and then having stimulus and telling the people something is smelling here. So usually people don't know, at least in Finland, how their sense of smell is working. We have many connections and cooperations now, and also it was asked us to take part in the EU project dealing with well-being and milder dementia people, and looking for applications to them. So such a emotional feedback is very important to all people, and they must know it, have tools how to do it. So we are planning such a sprayers or printed notebooks or something like that, linked to any pictures and so.
So this is a digital olfaction conference, and so this is the first time, and so I'm very happy to be here. And so this congress is very meaningful because this is the first time to cover the whole range of the smell presentation sensing, and so those fields. So especially the olfactory display or smell sensing, smell presentation technique. So many people get together. This is the first time to show various demonstrations here. So especially, so demonstration is very essential for presenting olfaction sensing, olfaction and very and so people can understand what really this technique, digital olfaction, is through the demonstration. And so from that point of view, so this event is beneficial.
My name is Victoria Henshaw and I'm an academic at the University of Manchester, England, and I specialise in architecture and urban design. And it's been really interesting for me at the conference because the new technologies that are coming through, shooting smells through the air, all these kind of different things are things that my students will be able to use in their work, designing new buildings and experiences of outdoor space. So it's very relevant really in terms of the application of these new technologies to practice. So that's why I'm here.
I'm David Mayer. I'm a journalist. I write for a website called Gigabit, a technology website. So I just tried the Meta cookie over there, and is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It was a fairly strange thing to experience. I'm not sure it entirely works, because you can't eat the branded part, because that's what triggers the augmented reality, and that takes up most of the cooking, so you have to nibble around the sides of it. And also, when you move it towards your mouth, then the picture disappears, so it rather shatters the illusion. It's an interesting idea, but I think it's some way off actually becoming useful. I think that there are two. I think there are two separate markets. I think there's the sensing side of it, and the actual mixing, the sort of the aroma display side of it. And I don't think that they are necessarily going to work together. You know, this whole thing of being able to send a smell through the internet, I think we're a long way off that. But on both sides, I think there are interesting things happening, certainly.
Okay, my name is Achim Lilienthal. I'm professor of computer science, and I work in the town of Örebro, that is in Sweden. My major field of interest is mobile robot olfaction. That means robots that have a sense of smell. So what we are trying to do is actually, in our research, is to make the robots able to find gas sources, for example, to create a map of a gas distribution, and so on, to enable intelligent behavior of robots that can sense gases. This is who I am. I think what we are seeing at this meeting here is that there is a wide variety of possible things that might change in the future due to introduction of devices that can play odors. We have seen potential in even wearable devices that produce odor when we need it, for example, to comfort us or something like that. On the other hand, so this is producing odors. On the other hand, we also have a lot of technological solutions in order to detect odors, in order to find out about the quality of wine maybe, or with the mobile robots to find, for example, where there is a gas leak that we need to do something about it. So there is a huge variety of things and that we could do and where there would be a big impact, but we share some common problems. So there are very fundamental problems which we need to solve, and essentially all of them actually require that people from very different fields work together. So it's a highly interdisciplinary approach, and therefore a meeting and building a society like this one is the right tool in my opinion. So this is very important in order to establish the means to get people to work together, to also make it clear to the funding agencies that there is a potentially large impact, but it requires projects where actually people from very diverse fields work together. The first thing is that you need to have a robot that actually works in the environment that where you actually want to perform. So one of the questions that I got after the presentation was, how about an accident like in Fukushima? And one of the things is you need to have a robot that actually can go there, and this is already a difficult problem. The other thing is you need to have sensors that detect what you want to detect, and you need to have the right algorithms, you need to have the right approaches in order to make sense out of the data that you get from your sensors. And there are some very fundamental questions that have not been sufficiently answered so far. And to bring this all together, and maybe even in systems with several robots and with heterogeneous robots, some in the air, maybe some on the ground, introduces another layer of complexity. So whenever we do research, we try to look at certain applications which allows us to reduce some of these difficulties. So for example, an application where we have a sensor that senses one specific gas. And this is interesting, for example, in our case, for monitoring of landfill sites, and then we can actually do something about it. But in order to to address the problem in general, that would be too much at the moment, because there are too many small problems. I just talked with somebody, they had problems even to build an amplifier. So it can be at a technological level that has nothing to do with the problems of gas sensing, artificial gas sensing in the real world, but all these problems have to be solved. And therefore, cooperation between people from very different fields in order to address all these problems together, because ultimately they have to be solved together, and that's the difficult point.
For me, it was really amazing to be here. And I'm looking forward for the next one. Maybe there should be more real preference in the conference. For the rest, it's for me like really beautiful event and great that something like this exists.
What is the most exciting demonstration you?
I find the most exciting demonstration myself, but no one smelled me. But the most exciting demonstration, Aroma Shooter. I really loved a lot because the experience with a movie, it's great. But also the other experience, the iPhone with one perfume, it's also fantastic. Yeah. But and the Sendcom version, I think there's also a lot of possibilities. It's really great. The
Meta cookies.
It's very nice. I did already in 2003 something like that. In the sniff movies, in the smell movie, there are some smell drinks, and it works really. Actually good.
Yeah, great.
The
Ice cream virtual. Also, we will explain that in audio. Thank you, Peter, and see you next year. Thank you.
My name is David Panguilla from Spain. I work at Puig, fine fragrance manufacturer, and I'm really glad to be here and discover how new technologies can improve the user experience with in such different approaches to deliver to enjoy fragrances in new ways. So it's very interesting, and I'm totally amazed by some of these devices and the way you change the perceptions of scents, aromas, and textures. It's very interesting.
What is very interesting for me is to meet different people coming from very different world. I mean, I am a scientist, but we are meeting artists or people from the marketing. It's very interesting to mix all that people because we have up to now no event like that. So for me, it's a premiere, and it's very nice to be there.
So meet you next second. DOS meeting. Yeah.
I hope so, of course.
What is your favorite demonstration?
I will just try the Aroma Shooter, but for me this is really a novel device because all the other demonstrations are based on the technologies that are already known. And this one is for me very novel and is able to send the aroma directly to the nose and not to the environment. So I think it can be very interesting for the future.
Thank you very much, Patrick.